I'd like to call the Hopkinton Town Council meeting of September 4th, 2012 to order. First order of business is silent meditation and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Need a motion to sit as a licensing board.
So moved.
Second. Motion made second. All in favor?
Oh, aye.
Okay. Special event permit. Open a hearing for a special event permit filed by the Recreation Director, Mary Sawyer, for the Hopkinton Craft Festival, scheduled for October 13th, 14th, 2012, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Crandall's Field, 188 Main Street, Ashaway, Rhode Island, 02804. Applicant and representative is present. Any discussion? Councilor Cavallo.
I love the new date. I am so glad you're doing it October 13 and 14 instead of in September. It'll be nice and dry and perfect.
I agree.
And I would really like to see it as a Hopkinton Harvest Festival or Autumn Festival instead of just craft. That's just a request. You don't have to pay any attention to me at all.
I think that
we love it for October.
That's a very great suggestion.
Yeah. That's all. I love it. It's such fun.
Yeah, I think it.
Councilor Hurst.
I have no comment. I was just thinking about Arthur Bernard Sconey, who's
Yeah.
no longer with us, and his Willie gigs, and
That's right.
his spot right near the Crandall house in the front. And,
Space number one. Yep.
It's a very popular, been a very popular venue in the town of Hopkinton through the years, and I'm sure that you'll. That's Columbus Day weekend too, isn't it?
It's the weekend after Columbus
Okay.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So,
You probably, a lot of people probably stay home that weekend, and you'll probably have a good crowd.
yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Mary, does it have just booths, I guess, to sell crafts? Is that what it is? I've never been.
Yes, crafters, vendors can rent a space, $65 for residents, $75 for non-residents for the two-day event. It's held rain or shine. It's juried show, which means that we take a look at what they're selling, and we require them to have handmade original artwork, handmade crafts, so you don't, hopefully have a lot of, all due respect to the flea markets, but something a little nicer, so, yeah.
I too am glad to see the date change, and I think Councilor Caparro's comments would do really well. You and I have talked in the past.
Yes, yeah.
And I think the Harvest Festival or something like that, to open it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
To maybe get like Poloni Farms down there with the pumpkins and
apples and honey and maple sugar.
Some last crop for the farmers, farmers market type. So any suggestions or ideas, we're welcome to them, so.
I have a whole list of events.
Well, you have the experience.
And pies. We have pies from Poloni.
We'd like to do a pie contest, which I'm going to be contacting the Granges to see if the ladies or the men would like to.
They do it, because we do it at the fair, and I'm trying to remember who it's through. It's not Betty Crocker or somebody else, that they have a regular pie contest.
Yeah, I think it's...
Pie eating or just pie contest?
They make the pie and then they have the judges.
We have judges taste, yeah.
Everybody's got to make it the same ingredients. And just some people, you wouldn't believe the range of the exact same ingredients and how it changes by how it's cooked.
We'll be looking for some judges, so.
I can
volunteer.
Okay.
probably give you some names.
Okay.
Connecticut Granges.
Excellent.
Okay, any other discussion?
A motion for a special event permit to recreation for the Hopkinton Craft Festival scheduled for October 13th and 14th at Crandall Field, Ashaway.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And it's approved.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Okay, next one. Open a hearing on the Ordinance Amendment to, no, wait.
special event.
Permit. Foster Parrots.
Okay, it's two different things. Lost my spot here. Opening hearing for a special event permit filed by Foster Parrots Limited, Marc Johnson, C.F.O, for an annual fundraiser event scheduled for September 16th, 2012, from 2 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. to be held at Foster Parrots Limited, located at 87 Woodville Alton Road, and identified as map 8, lot 1. Applicant is present.
Good
Any
evening.
discussion? Barbara?
Nice to see you again.
Great to see you again.
I hope you're going to continue having this. It's
Well,
great.
we'll mark each year by this meeting.
Yes. I have a question, please. We need to have the liability insurance.
Indeed.
We just need a copy because we didn't have that on here. And, oh, great, thank you very much. And then on number 23, we were having a number of people forgetting to fill that in. Are you requesting a waiver of any requirements of Chapter 3 of the Hopkinton Town Ordinance? Just fill it in and say yes.
Okay.
It's always blank. And we've
Oh,
had a
really?
couple of other people come in and it's just blank, even though you should because you're a nonprofit, and we certainly give nonprofits waivers. But just say, yeah, we'd like a waiver.
And in fact, we had a waiver last year,
Yes.
I think.
You did, and you asked for it at the bottom, but there's actually a space just to
Oh,
fill
I'm
it
very
in
sorry.
and say
I think I
yes.
just copied last year's.
Yes, exactly, highly possible. Well, we've had a number of others in nonprofits, not just you. They just don't fill that in, and then we have to discuss whether we give you a waiver instead of you asking for it.
Okay.
So we can just say, oh, what a good idea. Thank you, that's all.
Lisa? I'm a little rough.
He's a little rough right now, rough around the edges.
I just wanted to remind the council, because this is off premises, off recreation department premises, that was advertised, notice went out to abutters by regular mail, so I will be looking for that.
Okay.
Pay about $100.
Yeah, I saw the abutter notice, the abutter list. Okay, any other
I
questions?
just had a quick question.
Yes.
Actually, what is this organization? What do you guys all about? I'm not sure.
We are a rescue and sanctuary of unwanted parrots. And you may think that's not really very important, but since January 1st of this year, we've had 700 requests for surrender. So, and we try to adopt them out. Yeah, well, they get them because it's a fad pet. It's one of those things. It's,
Now, have you, go ahead, Pat, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I guess, do you house them on your property and
Yeah.
then dole them out as folks call for them, I guess?
well, actually, we sort of consider the birds that are at the property on 87 Woodville Alton Road as permanent sanctuary residents. But if a volunteer falls in love with one of them, they go up for adoption. A lot of the birds are actually requested by their former guardians to be there permanently as a retirement type thing. And this year, we are going to be opening our education center, which is going to be a really fabulous thing. We hired somebody from the Roger Williams Park Zoo who's going to be running this. It's going to be for the local schools and what have you, but they'll be held right here on the property, so.
Those are the birds that talk. I'm not-
Yeah. From parakeets to the big macaws, all of them,
Interesting.
all of whom bite. One of the reasons why they're,
I'm gonna pick up one.
one of the reasons why they're surrendered, yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Do you
You're
have any
welcome.
questions? Okay, Barbara, back to you.
Yeah, are you going to, because you're now opening the educational wing, are you going to be looking, I know we have CDBG grants, which are community development block grants for low and moderate, but if you're going to be dealing with the schools on that level as educational, maybe that would be a grant you could look into?
Definitely.
I'd
Well,
love to give you a grant like that.
Well, now we have someone who's dedicated, that's their job, is to look into the potential in the local school systems, all the way up to URI.
Because these are jobs
yeah,
for kids.
yeah,
I mean, these are
yeah.
not just kids, but for people out of high school that aren't going to college.
Sure.
It may need to be all the maintenance kind of workers you need, but I thought maybe there's a way to, go to the VOTEX to say, look, this is how you can handle
We will be
animals and
exploring
and
any possible avenue on
right,
on
because
this.
that would be
yeah.
a grant.
Yeah, and now we have an employee actually dedicated to that.
Yeah, and right now, we have picked up a couple of schools in Providence for after-school program because our education director is already there, but we really want to focus on the Cherry Hill region, in South County, because there's not a lot going on down here really for
And we have-
after-school program stuff.
Right, and we have a very strong VOTEC.
Right.
And I mean, this is right up the alley of kids who are not going directly to college.
Sure.
They may want to work, but maybe they are interested in environmental. And you would have so many levels to help a child who wants to go on to college.
Yeah, we actually have an active ecotourism project in South America, which is, you know, just another dimension to
And
what we're doing.
veterinarians that are specializing in
Sure.
birds. I mean, there's so many things.
Veterinary
you can do with
students and all that
VOTEC,
stuff,
basis.
We do an internship program and are able to connect college students to conservation field work in South America. So
Fabulous.
we do a lot with the veterinary community, vet techs, potential avian veterinary students. So
It's just going to get bigger.
Okay, I have one statement on the, I was reading your application, and I had a chuckle when it asked for, where is it here? Oh, describe first aid and safety measures to be provided. Several veterinarians will be. That was great.
Well, they're good at first aid.
That was good.
Indeed, I like that.
Last time I was there, you had the back end, you were still under construction.
We're still in that same building, that
still in the
same
same-
long building. And what we're doing is developing the far end. We just actually did about, I don't know, $40,000 worth of renovations just for the education center. So this is
Great.
basically presentation room for school kids, where they can come and maybe even make toys for parrots, or some kind of, you know, involvement with what's going on.
So at some point in time, do you think you're going to be open to the public?
We are open to the public.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 'cause
It's
I
just
mean,
by
when I-
appointment only. That's the only thing. We just ask people to call.
I'd love to bring
Oh,
my
yeah.
daughter up sometime. I
Sure.
know when I came last
Absolutely.
time, we had to wipe our feet, so we didn't
Oh,
bring.
no, we have little
Season stuff.
bleach baths at all the doors, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that was, if anybody has, if you've never
I'd
been.
love to go.
Yeah, you're all welcome to come,
Bring
and,
earmuffs.
yeah. Oh, no, we're,
They are loud.
House in one area, like one building?
the building is an old chicken farm, so it's a 400 by 40-foot building. And so we've made a central corridor, and then all of the aviaries are sort of off to the side. And we've been developing a lot of outdoor aviaries for them for the summertime as well.
Cool.
That's wonderful.
It was really great when I.
Well, your eyes will pop out now.
You still have the tortoise?
And your ears. Pardon?
Is the tortoise still there?
Oh, the big tortoises are still there, yeah. Everybody loves those tortoises.
All right, is there any other questions for the application?
We're a well-behaved group of people.
I'm sorry.
I just went through a little atrial fibrillation thing, so, you know, it's like,
He's going to be prepared. I'd like to make a motion to give a special event permit to Foster Parrots for their annual fundraising event in September on Woodville Alton Road with waiver of fees.
Second.
Filing fee.
Motion made second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed?
thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah. You want me to make the motion?
Okay, yes.
Motion to adjourn as licensing board and reconvene as council.
Second.
Motion made second, any objections, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're going to have an ordinance amendment hearing regarding Board of Finance. Open a hearing on the ordinance amendment to Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Division 2, Board of Finance, introduced and sponsored by Council President Sylvia Thompson. The proposed amendment would repeal in their entirety Sections 2-41 through 2-47 under Chapter 2. Administration, Article 2, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Division 2, Board of Finance. Council discussion.
I agree that the Board of Finance is not needed because the town manager and the department heads do a great job, and the council too, for that matter. So I'm in agreement with this, and I support the repeal of this boards and commission.
I agree with Mr. Landolfi.
Scott?
Obviously, I will be the dissenting vote on the council, and I'll say my comments have pretty much been made already, and unless there's a knock dead reason why I should change my sentiments, I'll be apparently 4-1 vote, and I will be the dissenting vote on that. And, but I think that I'll reserve my comments until the the vote.
Well, the vote's tonight, once we,
No, the vote's not tonight.
No, they got to close it now. Close it and then,
oh, I'm reading the wrong one. Okay, you're right. I also agree that it should be repealed. The town, under the town charter, the town manager is to perform the duties of the budget and then present it to the town council. I think this council has done an exceptional job in the last 6 years of whittling away at what we have access to anyway. I mean, I wish there was a way we could get our fingers on the Charo portion of it, but that's not going to happen even with the finance board. So I also am in favor of repealing the Board of Finance. Barbara.
Just to Scott, one of the things that you did for, to our benefit is that you asked for information on the boards of finance around the state. And there are approximately 3 out of 39 cities and towns. No one does it anymore. I think that's one very good reason for us not to have it. We have a $6 million budget that there are 5 of us, plus the finance department and the town manager, which I believe we can handle quite expeditiously. We don't have to handle the Charahoe one, although that would be certainly a benefit. I think that you gave us some of the best information that we got, and I really appreciate it. And I just want to say it's one of the reasons that I think you should look at it again and realize that there are things that just go out of time.
Well, first of all, in response, like I do want to keep most of my comments to the final vote, and we should have input from the public. First of all, I did think it's important for me to get that information, and I was glad to share it with you. But I think what we have to look at, we're in the midst of a political campaign where people will be talking about expanding the tax base, but also controlling spending is very important. And I think it's very important to have as many eyes to look at these, the financial situation of the town of Hopkinton, and not to take away anything from the town manager or the finance director. I think that also we should take into account that in the Wesley Charo area, all the towns either have a finance board or budget commission, and they all have finance directors and town managers. And I'm sure do a very commendable job. But the way I see it is that we're going to continually have financial pressures. I don't think economic development, no matter how meritorious it's going to be, is going to really solve our problems. I think it's important to have other perspectives and people to look at it. I think we should, at the very least, give the finance board another shot. There was known that a lot of members of the previous board didn't think that the council listened to them, and councils change with personalities. But unless I really heard some more strong arguments, I plan to vote against repeal of this ordinance. And basically that's what I'm going to say at the next meeting, because you got me to say it. I might have some other stuff, but I think it's very important that we realize that it's important to get information, some discussion from some board members that can take a little time and to look at it. The other towns in this area seem to have active finance boards or budget commissions, and I see no reason the town of Hopkinton should consider that as a possible resource, not to take away anything from our finance director or town manager. So I plan to vote against it. Now, I might be swayed at the next meeting, but that's my position at this time. Thank you.
One quick side note to Scott's comments. We do, Scott, also have 6 or so budget meetings, that the public can come and give input, and we can sound off of their ideas and implement them, I guess, if they make sense. So, to not say that they don't have any input, I think is incorrect. I think there's plenty of input for the public to give, and we'll listen to them. As you know, we do take their comments into consideration. So,
Has it been 10 years since we've even used the finance
Finance board, I think it's been about 9 years.
Yeah, I don't think we've even used a finance board for the last 8 years. I mean, it's just, it just hasn't been needed.
But the thing
God
is,
knows we have no money.
historically, I think the problem was that the finance board at that time felt they weren't being listened to. And the relationship of this town council, or any town council, with its boards and commissions can vary. I think that the bottom line is this in response to that, and this is the last thing I'll say tonight, okay, is the fact that we can invite people to discuss. We don't have a big audience. We have sometimes workshops with boards and commissions. We don't have the whole board there. And so basically the way it is, because people cannot vote, even at a annual financial assembly, most people don't show up because people cannot vote. I think that I would at very least like to try to reactivate that board, and that's my position now. I might be swayed at the next meeting, but and that's my response.
Okay. Any public comment?
I'd like to make a motion, Tom.
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we close the hearing and set a date to consider the adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I don't have a calendar here. October? First meeting in October?
Why don't we just do it the
Or
next
next
meeting in
meeting.
September?
And that's regular meeting, which is the 17th of September.
That's fine.
Do it then.
17?
Yep, great with me.
Okay. Next thing is the consent agenda. Approved town council meeting minutes of August 20th, 2012. Executive session minutes of August 6th, 2012. Set September 17th, 2012 hearing date for Class F liquor license filed by Langworthy Public Library, set September 17th, 2012 as a date to consider an earth removal registration application filed by Marilyn and Roger Kenyon.
Are we pulling anything? Are we pulling anything?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
First public forum. All right, don't trip over everybody. I'm trying to get to the mic. Town managers report.
Thank you. Again, this month, we continued the collective bargaining negotiations with the police, the clerical, and professional technical employee unions. Our next session with the police is this Friday, September 7th, and hopefully the last session with the clerical and PTE employees is scheduled for Friday, September 14th. In addition, I worked very closely with the police chief with respect to the recruitment and selection process to establish a 2-year eligibility list for new police officers. The deadline date for the receipt of applications was last Friday, August 31st. We have still few that are coming in that were postmarked on the 30th and the 31st, but right now we have 105 applications on file. And lastly, there's a meeting set for tomorrow with the DPW Director Tim Taft and Mary Sawyer at Recreation to meet with Scott McLeod from Swamp Yankee Days at the Crandall House just to make sure that things don't happen like they did last year and everything runs smoothly. So.
Any questions of the town manager? Councilor Balbo.
I just wanted to continue with the Swamp Yankee Days. What's really good is because we've had such a great rain today, the field should be swamped. So it's a really good thing to be able to take a look at to say these are some really dangerous areas. Because I don't want people hurt, and I don't think I want, not only do I not want the field damaged, I don't want people to get hurt trying to go over these ruts that were made last year. They were pretty substantial, and it's so easy to do in all that wet soil.
Right? Councilor Randolph?
Oh, no questions for Bill?
Councilor Hurst?
No question.
And none myself either. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
Last public forum. Going once, twice, anybody? Come on, somebody say something. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.